Right. I'm this is my second um review of the Ahsoka show, which was episode 3. Now, compared to the other twos, it was different, but we also learned a few things. One, different names of training techniques. We also saw Sabine learning how to use the techniques, and Ahsoka being completely badass. Now, here's the cool thing. Because of Ahsoka's lekus, which are the things that hang down on the Gruda, she can't wear what you would call a normal spacesuit. Now, we saw a very unique one during the Clone Wars TV series and the Rebels one, which was basically a clear dome, which allowed them to do it. Well, we got to see a Clone War era sort of one that looked really, 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 really cool. 2, we saw the banter between Ahsoka and Sabine, like old friends, and the mutual joke is when I forgot his bloody name. The droid, done by David Tennant, voiced by David Tennant, I should say. Hyun, that's it. Said he dropped us out of high space to her standard Jedi procedure, and she looked straight towards Ahsoka and said, "He's still doing that." And you could see the slight smile on Ahsoka's face at that. We also got to see Ahsoka being a badass because she went outside the ship once it got disabled and sliced and diced a couple of starfighters while defending it using her lightsabers. We got to see, they call it a giant space wing. We got to see the ship, yes. And we got to see Purrgil. Now, these are giant space rebels capable of traveling through hyperspace. We saw them in the Rebel TV series. In fact, that's the reason Thrawn and the character Ezra Bridger is missing, because it took the ships away. We got to see these things, and oh, wow, these things are amazing. They were quite good in the Rebel TV series, but to see them in live action and the much more detailed versions, whew, and these things are huge. I mean, they could wrap themselves around a Star Destroyer and move it through hyperspace. So you tells you how big these things are. Now, here's the thing. We finally got to see what the New Republic politics are like. And there are basically morons in charge of it. Now, I'm not saying Mon Mothma's an idiot. I'm not saying she's stupid. But I think she is trying to get away from the war too quickly. And it's showing. And they have ones who are literally, because they don't think they've got a right to say stuff. Wrong. As far as I'm concerned, wrong. Those guys, they shouldn't be senators. If they're young, if they had experience in the war, they should be senators. Either they know what it was like, or they had to deal with the Imperials in a different way. But this guy, he has his head up his ass as senator. And apparently, he doesn't like Hera Syndulla. And he is a person I would like to punch. He is, if I met him in real life, I would punch him for his attitude. Now, here's the cool thing. At the end of the 4th season, they did what they call an epilogue. Showed you what happened after everything. We got to see Hera's son. Now we've seen him in live action. And he wants to be a Jedi. taking after his dad. Jason. I mean, this is... And the fact that he can also understand Chopper means he spent a long time around him. Yes, we got to see Chopper. Not a psychotic murder bot in this one. Another grumpy droid in the other, as we saw in the second episode. But we might see him being his psychotic droid destroying, mass murdering side in future episodes. This was pretty good. We got to see the politics, and I'm beginning to see why the First Order was able to pull off what it did now. If this is the politics they're dealing with, now the sequels are making more sense about the Resistance and what the late Carrie Fisher's character, Leo Organa Solo, had to deal with. And personally, you can tell that these guys have got their heads up their ass. There's just no other way to say it. They think they've won. They think they've beaten everything. And I will tell you, the fact that they think Grand Admiral Thrawn's dead and that all their greatest threats are gone, that's stupidity on a level that's almost unimaginable. I mean, it's almost the level of stupidity that our current politics are like on Earth. Don't ask. But I will tell you this. We've got more groundwork done on this one. And I will tell you, this is something. This is now it's starting to build up now. Hayun mentioned that the Jedi Archive spoke of satellite galaxies and pathways to them that became in space vessels known as Purrgil. So the Jedi knew about the Purrgil, which means also the Sith knew about them, which is a possibility that the Dathomirian Sisterhood knows about the Purrgil's methods of navigation, as well as their ability to travel in hyperspace, adding more to the mythos. Now, we heard in the first and second episode the path of Pendants, I think it was called a penance or whatever. Now we know that the Purrgil are related to it. If I was to give this one, I would say 4 lightsabers. 4 to 4.5. It's hard to tell. But I will tell you this. I'm beginning to think why so many military personnel went to Leia's side when she knew about the First Order and tried to warn them about it. Is because they had literally hit the brick wall with the politicians and the bureaucrats. These guys are idiots. This explains why the First Order was able to pull off what it did in the sequel movies, because the bureaucrats and the politicians had their heads up their ass or buried in the sand so deep that they wouldn't realize the danger they're in. So, it is a 4.5 lightsaber episode. I'm going to say I can't wait until next week. That's the problem with them coming out weekly. That's the only downside to Disney Plus and Paramount Plus as well, because they do episodes weekly as well. Netflix had the advantage. Just dump the entire series. But this is good. What I will say is, we will probably see the live action Ghost, and we'll probably see the inside of the Ghost as well in live action in up and coming episodes. I hope. For those who don't know, the Ghost is a VCX 100. It's a Corellian medium bulk freighter, if I remember correctly. Yes, it's a Corellia Engineering Corporation, like the YT series, which is the Millennium Falcon class. Well, YT 1300 to be exact. We've seen the Phantom 2. We might see the Ghost, though we did in the movies. In Rogue One, we saw it on the ground and in the Battle of Scarif, briefly. We saw it as the more large fleet of vessels that turned up to kick the Sith Eternal asses in the orbit of Exegol. So, if we can see the Ghost, we will, and see the inside. I wonder how they're going to do that, because is Sabine's artwork still going to be around the ship, or has it been removed, or so forth? Are we going to see Zerelius? As well? Are we going to see the reunion of the surviving members of the Spectres? This is something that we've got 4, 5, 6, and 7. Let's see. Next week is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 more weeks. I think. Maybe. I think it's 5 weeks. And I will tell you, I'm looking forward to this. So, like, share, subscribe. Put stuff in the comments. I'm going to tell you, I'm looking forward to this. I really am. I will get back to you soon. And yes, for the first time ever, I'm actually doing a follow-on video that isn't COVID related. So, yay, I did it. I'm doing this. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video in 1 week for the Ahsoka. There is a playlist now for the Ahsoka review. I have done a Mandalorian playlist, I think. I have to check, but I'm sure I've done that. Thank you so much. I will see you soon. And may the Force be with you.